from rags to riches. Rags to riches. Came from rags.
Yeah, go for it. V, in typical Miami fashion, I'm doing things while we're on the air. You know how that is.
Okay.
You know? Was the drive, I hope the drive, 12 o'clock.
No, that was fine.
Not too bad.
No, the Palmetto a little bit. You know how that is.
I know you live like 5 minutes south of Orlando, so. I'm
yeah,
kidding,
anyone from Miami would say that. You pass like fucking Miami Lakes, they're like, nah, this is too north. I can't continue on.
No, Miami Lakes. I don't go past Doral, bro. I refuse to go to Hialeah anymore. Hialeah?
No,
bro.
fuck you. We're gonna fight, bro.
Get fight.
Wait, can I say bad words on this?
Of course, you can say whatever you want.
Sweet.
This is
Okay.
my space. I
Good.
allow whatever you feel is just.
Good, because I'm like a sailor at times. From Hialeah, so watch your mouth.
Bro, I was born in Hialeah Hospital. All right,
Same.
I'm not like arrepentido, but bro, it's too much of a headache to go there sometimes. You know what I mean?
No, I don't know what you mean. I'm not gonna agree with you on anything.
You
that
live in
have,
fucking Broward, bro.
anything that you
Are
have
you
to say
serious?
negative.
Wait. Hold on.
I just moved to Broward.
I don't care. You don't live in Miami no more. So obviously something you're agreeing with. You know exactly what I'm talking about, bro. Come on.
Listen. I moved to Broward because they don't care about the dog breed that I have.
Got it.
Period.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'd be in Hialeah, Miami Lakes, if I want to get fancy.
You have a pit bull.
I do. Mm-hmm.
How old is he?
He's 5.
Oh.
He's my little baby mush. I wish I could bring him, but he's a fucking disaster. He would knock down all these lights.
This is the most dog friendly office on the planet. Like everybody brings their dog. Everybody's good for a dog visit once a week.
Really?
So Nick will bring it, then Rosie will bring her dog, and then Will brings his 2 dogs.
I love that.
You would have brought your dog, and oh my god.
I love that. But he wouldn't like just sit here. He'd be like
He'd be
knocking
insane.
over everything. He's anxious as fuck.
Mm.
Yeah. Both my dogs are like me.
Yeah.
One is stubborn, one is anxious.
Yo, check your Slack. The what I love about dogs is they're so fucking loyal, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
They're not like cats. Cats don't give a shit about you.
Cats don't care about anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can never be a cat person. I don't get it.
I've had cats, but I've always also had dogs at the same time. I've never just had a cat.
Bro, I don't know, man. I just dogs are loyal. They love you no matter what.
Yep.
You could be having a worst day. You could have just like done the worst shit you've ever done in your whole life. You could go home like just feeling like shit and crying and being so sad about the fucking massive mistake you just made, and the dog will be so happy to see you.
Like I could leave my house for 2 minutes to go throw out the garbage, and I come back and my dog acts like he hasn't seen me in a year. I'm like,
how could you not love this creature?
I know.
You know?
The other one though, he's a dick. He doesn't give a shit. He's like a cat. He's a cat dog. He's a French bulldog. They're very stubborn. He does not give a fuck. I walk in the door, he puts his head up and he's like, "Sup, sup, bitch."
Actually,
all right.
I didn't notice if he had his dog or not. Andrew has a French bulldog, and his name is Cash.
He's here right now.
He might be. We'll check in a minute. Yeah.
Hurry up, get this podcast over.
Yeah, Cash is like he's a cool dog. He's a cool dog.
Frenchies are cool.
Frenchies are cool. They I haven't met a Frenchie I don't like yet.
Same.
So,
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what happened with the Frenchies in Miami. Like they just became very popular. First, like when we were kids, everybody had a pit bull. That was like the dog.
Yeah.
Now everybody has a Frenchie.
I think it went from like pit bull to English bulldog. I feel like that was like a trend.
Like American bulldog-ish. Because I had a few of those.
Or like, you know, the English ones, little short, fat ones, and then it went to French bulldog.
Frenchies, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that's about, but
well, people are just overbreeding dogs in general. Like that needs to
and they're
kind
selling
of
them for so much money, bro.
I know, but that needs to stop too, because have you been to an animal shelter?
I have. It's very sad.
It's sad as fuck. The one in Medley?
The one in Doral too.
Bro.
Well, the one in Doral is really clean, but still, you see the dogs.
No, it's clean though, and they have AC. The one in Medley, they're in outside cages in this heat. Like if you go there, you're adopting a dog, because if not, you have no fucking soul.
That sucks.
Honestly,
man.
It's fucked up.
Did you adopt your dog?
Him, the pit bull? Yeah.
How old was he?
A puppy.
He was little?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're lucky. Mm-hmm. I met somebody who actually I had a falling out with, but she had the coolest pit bull I've ever, and she adopted him when he was 6. He was old.
Yeah.
And he was 9 already. But he was like very obedient, very nice, very caring.
Yeah, sometimes people, they get them as puppies. They're
can't take care
trained
of
and
them
everything,
anymore,
and for whatever reason, they can't have them anymore, and they end up at the shelter.
Very lucky, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm a dog person. I've had umpteen amount of dogs throughout my life. I mean, the first one I remember is like a I had a black German Shepherd named Champion when I was like 4.
Of course, you had a German Shepherd. You're from
Yeah.
Miami. Who didn't have a German Shepherd?
No,
And
but
his
he
name was not Champion, it was Campeón.
You're funny. My dad named him Papo, and then I was like, no, name him Champion. It's a better name. And then, of course, Campeón. Everybody, oh, Campeón.
I had
know?
a Pomeranian growing up, and I think we found her, if I'm not mistaken, and my grandpa named her Pulga.
He called her Tick?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Tick.
Oh, my God.
Pulga's tick, for those who don't speak Spanish. Or fleas.
No.
No, yeah, it's fleas, because
Pulga.
garrapata
is tick. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yes,
Flea.
flea.
When I'm good with the Spanish. That's crazy. All right. Yeah, you're right, though.
Yeah.
You're right.
I'm
Fleas.
only good with certain words, like garrapata, because I'm an animal person. Don't ask me shit else in Spanish.
That's funny. So, V, when the fuck and how did all the tattoos start happening? I'm curious. I'm always curious to meet people, especially as many tattoos as you have, right?
Mhm.
Like, obviously, it's a thing you like.
Yeah.
What got? Did you see? Was there one specific person you were like, man, I want to be like that guy or that girl, or what? Like, how did it happen?
So I didn't see anyone per se that I thought they looked cool or whatever. My dad had a couple when I was a kid, and when I was 15, I was like, I want a tattoo for my birthday.
Mm.
And so my mom was against it. She still is against it. Every time I get a new one to this day, she's like, another one? ¿Hasta cuándo? Like, what the fuck? So for my, I think I don't remember if I was turning 15 or 16. I think 16. My dad took me to get my first one, and I got 2 stars on my lower back, like one on each side, not in the middle, but like on the sides, like on my love handles, basically, just 2 black stars. Back then, nautical stars and shit were cool, but I didn't want a nautical star because that was like,
I didn't want to get with everybody else.
Exactly.
You know?
So I just got black stars.
Okay.
It was fucking stupid. But I went, my dad took me. And then at like 17, I knew a shop that didn't ID people and whatever. So I went, I got my second one, which was like a little my zodiac sign on my upper back. Since then, both of those.
Leo gang.
Yeah, Leo gang. Since then, both of them have been covered. I now have a big ass peacock on my back, and the feathers cover the stars and whatever, because it was a disaster. But because of that shop, I started getting them. When I turned 18, I started doing body piercings. I started learning at 17, but then the guy that I was apprenticing under was like, you can't work until you're 18 in a tattoo shop. So he basically taught me for like a year. And then as soon as I turned 18, he gave me a job. So at 18 years old, I was in a tattoo shop Monday through Saturday, open to close. Of course, I started getting tattooed.
So it was pretty easy access. At
Yeah,
that point,
like we would be bored at the shop, on a slow day. And it was like, you feel like doing a flower? You feel like doing a whatever?
And it was like, sure.
Yeah.
You know?
So I got tattooed by like everyone that I've worked with throughout the years and the time that I was in the tattoo industry.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so before I ask my next question, do you know the significance of the peacock in like the Santeria Afro-Cuban religion?
No.
You don't?
Mm-mm.
The peacock represents Ochun. Ochun is she's kind of like a mix of like Aphrodite and like Mother Earth and
Yeah,
a few
like
other
Venus.
Yeah, yeah. She's a mix of a few things, but yeah, she represents a lot of things. She's
That's funny for many reasons.
Yeah, she loves me as long as I stay away from her daughters. That's a whole nother story. Anyway, so my next question. So you start getting tattooed, right? You're 18, we're getting a tattoo shop. When does like making content and like going into the niche of like a tattooed chick kind of start happening?
So when I was working in those tattoo shops, I worked in shops from the time I was 18 till about 27, maybe, something like that.
Oh, so
a
long
while.
time.
Yeah. And honestly, making content wasn't even a thing back then. It was being in magazines and being in print. And,
Well, yeah. Like Inked and all that stuff. Yeah.
Savage magazine. All of that back in the day, like things in print that you would have to go to Barnes and Noble.
Those magazines from back in the day have to be like collectibles.
Probably.
Right?
I know that there's a lot on eBay.
Yeah.
So just being in the tattoo industry, I was going to a lot of tattoo conventions, which I still go to, but we would go for work because, my shop would have a booth and we'd go tattoo and pierce or whatever. And randomly one day I was at a tattoo convention and there's convention photographers that are obviously hired to cover the convention.
Right.
They usually have a photo studio set up somewhere in the convention because they'll pull people to the side, like, come, let me take a picture of your back piece, whatever. And some guy pulls me to the side. He's like, hey, let me take a picture of your tattoos. At this time, I had like my upper back done, half sleeves. I didn't even have my neck yet. Whatever. So he's like, I just want to shoot your tattoos. I'm like, okay, cool. So I go to the little studio room with him. He starts taking pictures. And then like in the middle of him, and I've like never modeled. I didn't do anything.
Right.
I was a piercer. And in the middle of it, 18 years old, he's like, this is the cover. And I was like, yeah, okay. What are you talking about? Bye, see you later. And I just walked out of the room. And a couple months later, somebody was like, you know, you're on the cover of Savage magazine. I'm like,
okay, that's interesting.
What? So I ran to Barnes and Noble and I found it. It was horrendous. Like, oh my God. I had 3 colors in my fucking hair. I had blue eyeshadow. I didn't have eyebrows because back then you didn't like paint in your eyebrows.
That's funny.
It was so bad. I was wearing a denim skirt and like a wife beater. I was there to work. I wasn't there to shoot whatever.
You looked like you were fresh off the trailer park.
I looked like trailer trash. I might as well have been walking around barefoot at that place. But yeah, it was on the cover. So when they emailed me before the cover came out, they were like, what's your model name? I'm like,
model name?
Yeah. I'm like, what do you mean?
That's a thing?
I don't know. So I'm like, Vanny, short for Vanessa. I'm like, Vanny Vicious. Like, my friends used to say that to me, like, you're so vicious, because I was always kind of bitchy.
Right.
So I was just like, yeah, just put that, whatever. And then from there, I just started like shooting. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
The content came with.
No, I mean, you were.
When MySpace came around.
Right. No, but that wasn't that much after that, was it? I mean, MySpace came out, what, like 2000. Like, I was in middle school when it came out, so...
I'm really bad with timelines, so I can't tell you.
I must have been... When I started using MySpace, I must have been, like, maybe 13. So, and I'm 30, so 18, like 20 years ago. So, yeah, like 2005, 2004.
If you say so, I'm not going to do that math. But, yeah, so when MySpace came about, I posted,
you started posting those kinds of things?
Yeah, and I would post the tattoo magazine pictures to my MySpace.
Bro, it was such a mission to upload pictures to that thing. I remember.
But you could put a song on your profile.
Yeah, and you could customize, like, the whole theme. It was cool.
And you could put your top 5
Bro,
friends.
I had a badass Joker. I had, like, the Joker from Dark Knight walking away with, like, a Joker card like that. Bro, it was so cool. It was so cool.
Bring back MySpace.
For sure.
Fuck it.
Tom.
Where are you, Tom?
I have a theory that Tom got, you know, like the social media mafia. Like Tom got, you know, he's sleeping with the fishes.
Probably.
Mark Zuckerberg, you know,
Nah, Tom is probably
retired.
chilling. Yeah.
I retire.
Tom is on an island right now. Like, look at these idiots.
Yeah.
I did it first.
Yeah. No,
he's alive.
Know, Tom probably, he knew what social media was going to turn into, and he's like, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, he got out of it in time, for sure. He's like, I created the best social media platform you can think of. And now
he was way ahead of his time. There's no comparison.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
well, MySpace still exists.
Does it?
Yeah.
It's a real thing?
Yeah.
It's like an app and stuff?
Look it up.
I should download it.
I don't think it's an app, but it's still a website.
Bro, I should see if I can log in.
I tried that, and I wasn't able to because I don't remember any of the passwords, emails, whatever. But if you look up like your URL with your name, there? It'll be there, your profile, but my pictures don't load. Just has a little question mark on all of them. So I don't know.
MySpace.
I don't think I want to see that anyways.
Nah, those are cool.
It was a bunch of piercing pictures. Like my work portfolio was mostly on MySpace.
That's cool.
Yeah, but because of MySpace, I started finding photographers and kept shooting.
You know what's wild? How we hopped from MySpace to Facebook, and Facebook, when it started, was super like beyond basic. It was white and blue. You couldn't even pick it. You know, like it's weird how that happened, and it wasn't even like a better version of.
It was the same. Yeah.
No, it was worse.
It was less than.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's still basic. There's nothing.
Facebook, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, social media, such an interesting thing. Well, if it wasn't for social media, I wouldn't know you, so.
It's true.
I'm.
Nobody would know anything.
No, I mean, I wouldn't take it that far, but.
I mean, we'd have to go back to libraries.
True.
Nobody wants to do that.
I mean, you could argue both points, right? That social media, since it's gotten so popularized and so into the daily, like, routine of life, that most people use it as, like, a newspaper and they don't research this information, right? So if they see some stuff and they're like, oh, look at this,
They believe it.
you know, half the time it's bullshit and it's just some shit someone's saying, you know.
Yeah.
But because I saw a video of it on TikTok.
Yeah, the guy on Instagram said it, so
Right.
it must be real. I have a love-hate relationship with social media for sure.
I have a love-hate relationship, so I can only imagine, you know.
Yeah. Stay on your side of the spectrum of social media and you'll be just fine.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Don't cross over.
I don't think I could make money with an OnlyFans account, so I think I'm forced
You
to
never
say.
know.
No.
You never know.
Nah, I just, you know,
You never
certain
know.
things,
I'm just saying.
you know. There's advantages women have, you know. You guys are just more beautiful than us. It is what it is. you know.
Well, I
More-
mean,
more attractive.
The thing about OnlyFans is that if you're a woman, you're obviously your target audience is men.
Of
If you're a
course.
man with an OnlyFans, your
Your
target audience
is women
is
gay men.
men.
Or gay men.
it's
yeah,
men,
yeah,
100%, because women do not pay to subscribe to OnlyFans
Exactly.
pages.
Exactly.
So if you can target the gay guys,
I mean, go for it, I guess.
you're
I
in.
don't know.
And there's a lot less male creators than there are female. So you actually,
That is true. I didn't think about that.
There's 2 million creators on OnlyFans.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Mhm.
Would you think? But I would think the market share is still small, right? Like that's not 2 million out of compared to what? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Is
but
that
that's
big or
still well, let's just say OnlyFans in comparison to people who do mainstream porn or something. Like, I'm not sure if all mainstream porn stars have OnlyFans, but
They probably do at this point, but there's a lot of porn stars that have OnlyFans, but there's not a lot. I wouldn't say there's as many OnlyFans that are porn stars. You know what I mean?
Correct,
Like
yeah.
it's not like exclusive.
yeah. But then also, it's like now you meet a girl and 5 out of 10 women you meet have an OnlyFans or have had an OnlyFans
At
during
some
COVID.
point. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just crazy. And I've noticed that too, like when I meet people before, let's say 4 years ago, if I would tell someone I had an OnlyFans, they were like, no, I'm not dating a girl on OnlyFans. Now it's like, all right, well, what do you do on it? Now,
It's funny. I was about to. Now it's like, all right,
people have
what
to adjust.
are you selling feet pics?
Yeah.
You know,
They're like, but how far?
how far do
go?
you take it?
Mhm.
Are you like
Yes.
just kind of like in a thong by the pool,
Right.
or are you like fucking a guy on there?
Exactly.
You know, yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah,
always
yeah.
that. By yourself? Okay, cool. With a guy? Fuck no. Every time. So it's funny to see that because at first it was like, she's on
It's-
OnlyFans, she's a hoe, she has a high body
Yeah,
count,
yeah,
da da da
yeah,
da da.
yeah.
Now it's like,
Yeah,
all right, are you fucking on it? We're cool then.
we're good. Yeah,
I'll,
yeah, yeah.
I'll deal with it.
Is it kind of like not that serious? Okay, cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I got you.
exactly.
I feel you. I mean, I have mixed feelings about. I think I feel more strongly about porn than I do about OnlyFans. OnlyFans is a little different because it's not. Even though we associate it with like exotic content, that's not what it always is.
Right, right.
But porn obviously is like rated X content. So
Mhm.
for men, I can't speak for women, but for men, watching porn is not really all that healthy.
Yeah.
It can cause a lot of
Yep.
like mental issues for
Mhm.
real. I can tell you that when I stopped watching porn, like I immediately saw women differently.
Yeah.
Like I gave it a few months, and then the way I treated women, the way I interacted with
It
women.
affects the way you have sex and
ve-
everything.
Whoa, bro, you haven't like seriously,
Mhm.
seriously. For
I don't
real.
think that, like, I know a lot of kids watch porn because they're on Google.
they're
whatever.
kids. No, I mean,
But
and
like, if you're
the
learning
internet
how
is
to,
easily accessible.
if
you know?
you're learning how to have sex from porn, like, there's a problem.
Yeah, yeah.
You're gonna
100%.
fucking lose your virginity and like choke and slap some bitch, and she's gonna be like, "What the fuck's going on?"
What is this?
Yeah.
What is going on?
And then the girl's like, "Oh, this is it. Damn! Like, what the fuck?"
I wasn't looking forward to getting beat up.
yeah.
Oh my god.
I have a black eye. You know. Damn. What the fuck?
Alrighty, guys, we're gonna take a quick break to hear from our first sponsor. We'll be right back. Alrighty, guys, taking a quick break from the podcast to bring you a word from our sponsor, Christian J. DePaz. Appreciate him for coming through. He offers a phenomenal service. Guys, you know I'm a big promoter of entrepreneurship, owning a company, starting a business, doing your own thing, and chasing your own dreams. But as the old saying goes, it takes money to make money. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Christian J. DePaz and what he does. He gets funding for new and startup businesses. Christian, tell us a little bit about it.
Thank you so much, bro,
Of course, bro.
for giving us the opportunity to come inside your podcast and help more entrepreneurs start their own business or scale their current businesses. So what we do here at Secure Funding is that we'll help you acquire anywhere between $50,000 to $150,000 at 0% interest rate business credit, so that you can once again start or scale your current distance. So if you come here from our good friend Nelson, there's no other you're coming from, then we'll kind of met the podcast and we'll take extra good care of you. With that being said, brother, thank you so much for bringing us on.
Of course, of course. What are you waiting for, guys? Click the link in the bio. So, question. Do people assume because of the tattoos and stuff, like, because we just made the whole joke about getting beat up when you're having sex, is that like a common thing where people assume like goth chicks and like BDSM and all that shit? Is that like, is that just like a total assumption stereotype thing?
I've never experienced it personally where people, what I have heard is like, oh, you must like pain. I'm like, no.
It's an assumption, I guess.
No, I don't. No one likes to be in pain unless you have like a problem.
I think that's all like trauma.
But
that's
yeah,
all,
like
weird.
Yeah, it's just that like, oh wow, you have a lot of tattoos, you must like pain. Like, no, bro, I just like having tattoos. Like the pain is temporary, the tattoo is forever, so I deal with it. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've heard. Tú eres masoquista. I'm like, no, I'm not. I don't want you to burn me. I don't want you to put fucking hot ass wax on me. Like, no, I'm good. I'm good.
Tie
with
me
that.
up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get you.
Like,
and then obviously now that you have like 50 Shades of Grey and those kinds of movies and shit, it's been popularized. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I find it kind of wild that some people are into that kind of shit. I don't know.
Like, it is what it is. Whatever you're into is what you're into. But like, to make the assumption that because someone has tattoos, they automatically like being in pain is like, it's dumb.
Well, you've been married for the same person for 15 years and you hate her, so you must like pain too.
Exactly. You like emotional pain. Like, you like to suffer in silence. Like,
No, I get you.
It's the same thing.
You know what's funny? I brought up something the other day to my friend who's, shout out to Ivan Alex out in Las Vegas. We talked about something super interesting. I brought up the point that society, right? Normal people, they look at like drug addicts or alcoholics or people that have these, addictions, and they point the finger and they're like, oh, you shouldn't be doing that. And they have this stigma, right? But nobody points, and this is the segue into what the other thing I wanted to talk to you about. No one says that about people who overeat. No one says that about people who eat like monsters. It's the other way around. A fat dude shows up, you already know, abuela. Mm-hmm. Abuela, fucking her grandson shows up to the crib. Shoving food down his throat. Parties, these massive amounts of food, especially in our culture, right? Mm-hmm. Like the amount of fried and like greasy food that we eat is nuts. Mm-hmm. And at no point does anybody, it's okay if you eat. It's cool. Just keep eating. Kill yourself.
Yeah. I mean, both of those things are an escape from something, right?
100%.
Whether you do drugs to escape from your life or drink to escape from a problem.
You eat a bunch of sugar.
Or eat to cope with something that you're dealing with. It's all, food is an addiction as much as...
100%.
I heard that there was this study done that I believe they used rats and they put cocaine in a dish and sugar in another one, and the rats kept going to the sugar. Like, sugar can actually be more addictive
than cocaine.
Than Coke. So
that's wild.
It's, hand in hand. Like, if you can't deal with your problems and you need that escape, people find it either in drugs or in food. It's the same thing, and both will kill you eventually. I
saw this clip, and I was gonna send it to you. This guy I follow named Myron Golden. His content is really good. He kind of takes, but the way he does it, I like it because I think I've told you my thing is wisdom. Like, I just learn. I like ancient teachings from anywhere. I don't care if it's the Bible, ancient Greece, or wherever. Mm-hmm. But his thing is the Bible. But he's not a preacher. He just kind of takes practical and turns it into like a practical lesson, right? And he talks about food, and then he talks about Sodom and Gomorrah and like gluttony and all this stuff. And it's like, man, he basically said that food has been the number one weapon against humanity since the inception of the first human.
Yeah, I mean, and that's true too, because think about a drug addict trying to come off drugs, or an alcoholic, or a smoker trying to quit. 100%. The first thing they go to is eat.
To eat.
Like, even smoke, like, you want to quit smoking cigarettes. Let's say that's the least worst thing you can do. Mm-hmm. They're like eating candy all day now because they're trying to curb these nicotine cravings or whatever. So now you're just like replacing nicotine with sugar.
With sugar, yeah.
So yeah, I believe that. I mean, food can kill you as much as it can give you life.
100%.
depending on what you're consuming, obviously.
So I would assume your fascination with health and like anatomy came from obviously your autoimmune issues that you've had.
Yeah, so I
Okay.
started getting really into health and nutrition because I developed autoimmune disease or disorder, whatever you want to call it, like 3 years ago.
Recently, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a recent thing. I was always healthy for the most part. You know, like as a teenager, I smoked cigarettes, I drank, and I ate like shit. But as I got older, I started getting healthier. And autoimmune, most of the time, from my understanding, stems from trauma or stress. And I was in a really abusive relationship like 3 years ago, like in 2020 to 2022, around there, around
Like
COVID.
the pandemic.
Yeah. So, I mean, we were meeting the worst people at that time. Like, we didn't, like, it was just a shit time for everybody.
And
but
the worst came out of everybody. I
yeah,
think.
exactly. But because of that relationship, I slowly started to get sick, and I was developing like weird ass symptoms that I've never experienced. I was getting allergies to things that I've never been allergic to anything, like, you know, and then eventually it got to a point where my mom had to live with me for like 2 months because I couldn't go to the bathroom. Like, I couldn't walk to the bathroom without like passing out.
Wow.
Like, I had no control of my body anymore. It felt like really weird. I thought it was spiritual. So, you know, I went that route first. Then I went the medical route. They didn't know what the fuck was wrong with me because my labs were coming up fine.
Normal.
Like, they were like, there's nothing wrong with you. You're anxious. You have heartburn. So take a Pepsid, whatever. And it wasn't until I saw a functional doctor and he looked at my labs and he was like, you have severe inflammation everywhere. This is an autoimmune disorder. I never tested specifically for which one I have because it doesn't matter to me. The treatment is the same.
The same for
and it's
all,
the
yeah.
diet. So he changed my diet and I've been healthy pretty much ever since. But yeah, so 3 years ago, I really started looking into, you know, supplementation, especially anti-inflammatory stuff, and anti-inflammatory diet, mostly animal-based, carnivore on and off, depending on how I'm feeling. But yeah, I kind of became obsessed. It's like to the point where literally today, my cousin sent me her labs this morning. Cousin, look at my labs. What do I do? Now I'm like,
That's wild.
everyone in my family sends me their lab work. All my friends, what do I do? I'm like, okay, you need to increase this, decrease this, take this
Okay,
out.
Andrea Huberman. Jesus.
I know. And Andrea. Andrea Huberman. And it's fucked up. And I feel weird about it because I'm like, guys, I'm
That's
not
awesome.
qualified to do this.
Well, look, here's something I'll tell you that I don't like about society. They like to be like, oh, did you go to school for that? Fuck school, bro.
Yeah.
School? Are you serious? As broken and listen, bro. If you're a person who still
It's
doesn't
just
take
scary
advice,
when you're dealing with people's labs and their health.
I get
It's
it.
a little different.
I get it. But if you're of the mind or of the mindset still that if someone didn't go to school for something, oh no, I shouldn't be taking their advice. You're retarded. Because the most practical fucking place you're gonna get experience is in the real world, not in some college.
Yeah.
Half of the professors that teach you never even did this or whatever they're teaching you in the real world. That's why I will refuse to get a business degree from a college. Refuse.
Yeah.
Most of you, oh, I have an MBA. Yeah, you learn from some asshole who's been a professor for 20 years at where? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, real world experience is definitely
100%.
where it's at. Yeah.
150%.
My dad actually has had 2 heart surgeries. He had an aortic aneurysm a couple years ago. He recently repaired his carotid artery and whatever. He's always had high blood pressure and like issues. His diet has not been great. And recently I looked at his labs. I changed up a few things and he calls me the other day and he's like, it worked too well. Vanessa, this worked too well. My blood pressure is too low now. Like, should I go to the emergency room? And I'm like, no, chill. Like, do you feel like you sick? Like, do you feel
No,
like
you
passing
feel
out?
great.
He's like, no, I feel fine, but the numbers are low. What do? I got to remove this supplement. I have to stop eating this or start. And I'm like, no, dude, you have to remove the blood pressure medication. And he's like, what? And it like blew his mind because my dad's always paid attention to his Western doctors.
Right,
like, he's
right.
always done what they tell him. They tell him to take this, he's taking it. So he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, remove the pill a few days and just see what happens. You're not going to die.
Exactly.
Like, just do it. And he did it. And like,
Blood pressure was normal.
normal. And he's never had normal blood pressure without being on medication. And all I did was, you know,
Change his diet.
change his diet slightly, not even anything crazy, and add like 2 or 3 supplements. And he's just like, what? He's like, I cannot believe that this is working as well and as quickly as it's working. but people don't have the discipline to fix their health from a nutritional standpoint. They'd rather take the pill because it just makes it
Because
easier.
it's a quick fix, of course. And it's easier to leave. You know, part of that, I think, is that it's just easier to leave the thinking up to other people.
Yeah.
Like, instead of you sitting there and being a critical thinker for a second and really diving deep and using, all right, I can use my own deductive reasoning here and kind of figure this out. No. Tell me the answer.
I fix it right now because I don't feel good right now. Yeah. Nobody wants to kind of like put in the work to just
figure it out for a second.
I had to do that. I mean, I work with a functional doctor. And when I had my autoimmune stuff, like at the beginning, he told me everything to do. I followed it to a fucking T. And within 2 weeks, I was able to leave my house and go to the grocery store or lay by the pool. This is something that I wasn't able to do for fucking months because I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't take a shower without holding onto the wall like an old person. Like I might faint. I had vertigo constantly. Like it was so bad. My gut was fucking destroyed. And I paid attention to him. And I mean, I have discipline though. I've always had that. 2 weeks. 100% better. My mom was like, what the fuck? She's like, can I go back home now, bitch? I'm like, yeah, go. You're good. But it's crazy. My mom, same thing. My mom is pretty much on the diet now too. Like,
are you all eating the same things, or does each person eat something different based on their situation?
It kind of varies. Like my labs right now are excellent. Like I eat very balanced, as far as like meat consumption, like I'll have chicken, fish, beef, mostly beef. I don't eat vegetables at all. I don't do well with vegetables at all. My parents do fine with it, so they do incorporate some vegetables. My mom does no carbs. I don't do carbs for the most part. My dad kind of fluctuates with the carbs, but at the end of the day, the thing is getting rid of carbs, getting rid of sugar, processed sugar completely, anything packaged, preservatives.
Bro, I think I had told you, I don't remember if we talked about it on your podcast, but earlier this year I did I cut out all the carbs for 3 months and I lost 25 pounds, bro. But my thing was, and I think it's based on what you told me too, my portions were too small.
Yeah.
I felt like shit, man.
Yeah.
I felt so bad. So after 3 months of doing it, obviously I like the results, but I was like, bro, I can't sustain this.
Yeah.
Because I work, there's days where I work 12 hours.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, I need, so I started eating carbs again. But I'm gonna take your advice. I'm gonna up the portions and cut down the carbs.
I don't eat that much. Like people think that I'm slamming meat all day long, like to sustain whatever muscle or energy or whatever. I eat like 2 to 3 meals a day. I just make sure that those meals are nutrient dense as fuck. Like I'll make, like last night I had churrasco and raw cheese.
Bro, I was about to say, tremendo churrasco.
They're huge, right? I had half of a churrasco, medium rare. I put raw egg yolks on that shit. Like I'll crack 2 raw
and you'll eat it?
Not
like
the
that?
whites, just the yolks, but it has to be good eggs, please. Pasture raised, like organic eggs. I'll crack 2 egg yolks on that shit with some raw cheese. And that's what I eat. So like that meal alone is like more nutrient dense than like 3 meals someone else would eat. You know what I'm saying? On a regular day.
How come you eat them raw? Like the raw cheese and the raw eggs?
It's just I don't care. It's just easy.
you just a gangster?
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Well, the thing with raw dairy is that all of the vitamins and enzymes
are straight to after you pasteurize it. Yeah.
Are 100% active when you eat. This is raw milk in here with my coffee. Like it's 100% active. So you're getting all the nutrition from it. Once you pasteurize something, it loses anywhere from 25 to 100% of all these enzymes and shit. So yeah, I just do the raw dairy.
That's pretty wild.
I don't have an issue with it. Most people that I know that are lactose intolerant try raw dairy and they do absolutely fine. So
interesting. On my father's side of the family, they're all lactose intolerant. My dad's just a savage and he keeps eating whatever he wants, which he just had. Funny enough, I should make him do some labs and bring him to you because he's just fucking stubborn.
Well, that's the thing too, is like with stubborn people, like, are they gonna listen? Because I have like my best friend, I love her to death, and she's probably watching this and she's like, this bitch. But she's the same way. Like for months and months and months, she's had inflammation, she's had back pain, she's had this. I looked at her labs, I told her what to do, the vitamins, the supplements, whatever. And she's just like, until recently, like literally last week, she started listening. Last week she got on it. And I don't know what the switch was that flipped in her, But this was like a year of me telling her, stop fucking asking me then. If you're not going to listen, stop asking me.
100%.
Like, she's like, okay, don't get mad at me. Now she's doing it. And now she's like, wow, I'm pooping every day. I'm like, yeah, and
Good.
welcome to being normal, bitch. Like, you were shitting once a week. That's not something that is normal.
Jesus
like,
Christ.
Yeah. So, like, your digestion's fucked. Like,
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Once a week, bro.
Yeah. Now she's on it. Now she's like, I can't believe this. I'm like, yeah. Welcome to eating. She didn't eat enough though before.
There's a lot of things that, you know, like as we move on with times and generations and stuff that I don't like. One thing I do like that's happening is that there is way more information about health and the human anatomy and nutrition. There's way more information out there now about that than there ever has been. And I think it just gets better with time. But the main thing is that that I think people are realizing is like there's many different ways to, like, you know, because skin a cat, as they say, like there's many different diets, many different nutrition plans that work for like for me. I can't do. I've tried a few things like I'll go back on the keto because it's what gave me the best results. But I'll probably carb cycle now just because I know like how I felt and
when
I tried.
When you did keto, were you doing like clean keto or a lot of fat? Like, were you having vegetables?
A little bit, not too many.
Yeah, because I've seen
some fruits here and there.
Different doctors talk about different forms of keto, and they'll call it either clean keto or dirty. Yeah. So dirty would be you're always eating bacon, steak, chicken.
No,
whatever.
no, I didn't just. That's like carnivore.
But
you know, I didn't.
But what I've read is that if you're doing clean keto, you need like 7 cups of vegetables daily, like. I guess to feel full. Yeah, I don't eat vegetables at all.
I was way below that.
Yeah.
I was way.
So that's probably why you were hungry too. Is that
I was starving all the time. I was intermittent fasting, so I would eat 2 meals a day.
Yeah.
They were smaller portions, very like baby portions, and no, it wasn't like 7 cups of vegetables. Yeah. It was maybe like half a cup. And even the meat portions weren't like gigantic.
Yeah,
so.
No, I do like gigantic portions of food when I eat, especially if I know I'm only going to eat like 2 meals a day.
Right.
Aside from that, though, like in the morning, obviously my water has collagen in it, bovine collagen from a cow. And I'll do like apple cider vinegar to get stomach acids going and shit. I'll take all my vitamins, and then like I'll have coffee like I'm having now, but it has no sugar and it has raw milk, so I at least know I'm getting vitamins in, some kind of nutrition. And then when I eat my first meal, it's like very, you know.
What's the one common denominator or the one biggest thing you've seen for yourself and other people that you've done and maybe you've told other people to do that makes the biggest difference in their health?
No sugar.
That's a big one.
Cut sugar. Sugar's the enemy.
What did you feel specifically when you cut sugar out of your diet?
I can't even tell you because since I was suffering with the autoimmune shit, I couldn't tell what was a withdrawal symptom from not having sugar or what was, you know, what I was going through.
Yeah, right.
And don't get me wrong, I still eat a chocolate bar here and there, but I make sure that everything I'm eating doesn't have processed sugar. Things that I eat that are sweetened with dates or something like that. Like I won't do a Hershey bar, but I'll do... like from this brand, Get Back to Human, it's a bit cleaner, whatever, you know, or dark chocolate, something like that. I make my own ice cream if I want something sweet.
Fuck, that sounds good.
With like raw dairy, you know, raw cream and whatever that I get from the farmer's market. So I still eat sweets. I just make everything at home.
That's good.
I'll never get rid of the sweets. Like I'll be dipping dates in almond butter. Like that's my shit.
Oof. Wow.
Yeah.
Bro, you're making me hungry.
Dates and almond butter.
You're killing me. I'd take you to lunch after this, but I remember you saying you can't eat out. So nope. So she said something funny when I was leaving the podcast. She was like, guys ask me out, and they're like, you want to go to dinner? And I'm like, no, I can't.
Yeah,
I can't.
And then it's funny because then they're like, oh, they can't figure out another way to hang out with me. Like, it's like dinner is like the number 1 date night or something. So once I say like, oh, no, I don't eat out, they're like, can I cook for you? I'm like, I'm not going to your house. I'm like, all right, I guess this is done. Block, like whatever.
Damn, bro.
Yeah.
No.
They can't think of anything else. Like,
so weak.
Bro, we could go play pool. We could fucking go bowling, throw an axe. I don't know. Sit somewhere else that's not food related. Like I could.
Food is just traditionally a great way to conversate and spend time together. It's like a social thing, you know.
Well, not for me. So.
I guess.
It. I mean, unless. I don't know. Unless we go somewhere that it's literally a steak on a grill and there's nothing added to it or whatever. I don't want to go out and like eat something and then have a fucking flare up and I'm like, wait, why am I itching? I have hives now. Like, no.
I get it.
I'm not even gonna risk it.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, like figure out something else to do.
What a bunch of pussies though. Just because you can't go to dinner.
Because people have no creativity. Like, and
really?
It's, you know what I think it is too is like now I've made it a little difficult. No one likes that. And I'm not doing it on purpose. Like it's not like I'm a difficult person.
Nah, but I
it's just that now it's like, oh, now I gotta think. No.
Damn, the average guy really is a fucking pussy, bro. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Don't get me started.
No, don't get me started. I talk about men too. Men, modern day men are a bunch of fucking losers. Like, that's, you know what? And I'm probably going to get heat for this, but I say it all the time. The whole red pill thing, I agree with some of the things they say, but some of the other things they say are just wild, bro. Like, super wild. And that's why the whole, like, I don't know if you know what's happening in Gen Z, how, like, the women are super, super left and the boys and the guys are super, super right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's this big division.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because of, like, the culture war, you know? That
yeah, like, I've talked about this, too, before on social media. It's, like, roles have changed.
100%.
Which I get.
But we're trying to define nature.
Yeah.
That's
like,
part of the problem.
Exactly. And I understand to a certain degree how roles can change because everything is constantly evolving, right? And we have to just get with the times and learn how to do shit in a new way or whatever. The problem is that I think it's trauma. Everyone's so traumatized already that it's just like, fuck, man, I'm gonna make my own money. I don't give a fuck what they think, da-da-da. And then men are the same. Fuck these hoes, blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna do what I want. So
we're so much more alike than we would like to admit. It's funny, bro.
Like, but at the end of the day, which I'll probably get heat for this too. Like, women love to be like, I don't need no man. Bitch, yes you do. Yes you do. Stop. Like, you're gonna fucking fix your own ceiling, bitch? No, you're not. You're gonna go hire a man to do it. Shut the fuck up.
Right.
Shut up. We all need each other and we all have our roles in
100%
in nature, you know? Like, to me, it's crazy that women are like, I don't know, I don't serve my man's food. I'm like, what? That's crazy to me. That's crazy. If I'm dating you and you're in my family's house, you know, Cubans, they be setting up the buffet and shit. Dominicans too, whatever. We set up the buffet.
You get the best of both worlds.
Everybody stands up and gets their food.
And your girl serves you your food, yeah.
100%. Like,
I haven't been that lucky,
bro.
In my
and I've met men who have said this to me, and I'm like,
I haven't been that
how
lucky.
How the fuck? I was talking to someone yesterday, and he's like, you asked me if I've eaten today, and I'm like, Like, to me, it's a natural thing. I'm like, what'd you eat today? You didn't eat enough. Like, that's natural to me. Women are like, I'm not serving him. He could serve his damn self. He ain't handicapped. He got 2 hours. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like, we need a, like, all right, bring it back a
and
little,
then
guys.
I'll take it a step further. The girls that have the balls to go on social media and say, like, listen, bro, like, I pack my man's bag before he leaves on a trip. I iron his clothes. I cook for him. Like, I like doing these things for him. What the fuck is your problem?
Yeah.
They get destroyed. They get eaten alive. And it's like, dude, what is, I don't get it, man. The fact,
I think it depends on the relationship, right? Because if you both are extremely fucking busy people,
I get it.
And you might have to share these tasks, right? But for the most part, like the girls you're talking about that are ironing their clothes and packing their lunch boxes and all this shit,
they're probably like stay-at-home wives or something.
Stay-at-home wives, but that is your position.
That's your role.
That's your role. You're going to stay at home while this man goes and works all day and pays all the fucking bills. Right. Yeah, you're going to cook his food and fucking iron his shirt. Like,
exactly.
Duh. The fuck? You know, obviously this is situational. If you have newborn twins, you might not have the opportunity to iron the man's shirt.
Of course.
But when he gets home that he could watch those babies, go iron the shirt.
Right.
It just, I don't know. And to me, I can't imagine like the opposite. I can't like, and I didn't even grow up that way because my parents got divorced super young. So I didn't see that. But that's what comes naturally to me as a woman is like, this is my man. This is my partner. He's not just like the guy I sleep with. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a partnership. So you do your part. I will do my part. And I don't know. I think women are slow. Let me watch what I say.
Don't worry.
I
If
think
they give me a strike on my YouTube channel, I won't hold you to it.
It won't be that. But I think that women are slowly becoming more and more delusional.
Oof.
Like,
That's a whole nother conversation.
It's delusion. I mean, I see it all the time, especially with, you know, the industry that I'm in. Like, if he loves me, he's going to accept me for everything I do right now. And I'm like, I don't know about that.
I think first off, it starts with the conversation we had earlier. It's like now it's become like, all right, what do you do on there? What do you know?
Yeah.
And then from there, it kind of, I think, will evolve based on the relationship and based on how serious you guys get, and you know, and based on what he's comfortable with, you know.
And also, you know, it also has to do with getting to know the person too.
Of course,
because it's very easy to judge somebody because they have an OnlyFans and then not even give them the chance to show you who they are as a human.
I agree.
You know, so which. I mean, like you said before, like I kind of surprise people with the knowledge that I have and the things that I'm passionate about and the way I carry myself in public, the way I carry myself around people and whatever. So, you know, I think it also has to do with that. But it's sometimes people don't give the OnlyFans girl a chance to get to know them, because I know girls who make similar content as me and they face the same issues that I face when meeting new people or dating or whatever. But then I know girls who do full-on porn and they truly believe the delusion. They truly believe that someone is going to wife them up while doing porn, and it's like probably someone that's not even in the industry.
Well,
like
it's possible, but I'll tell you this much. If the guy's willing to marry someone who literally has sex with other people,
he
for
has
a
no
living,
self-respect. And why do you
100%.
want to be with a bitch? That's my
100%.
Sorry.
Yeah. She's finishing my sentences, guys. This is a great.
My bad.
No, that's cool. All right, guys, we're going to hear a word from our second sponsor. We'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, the familiar voice of your host, Nelson Rodriguez Jr., taking a quick detour to talk to you about the best jewelry shop on the internet, Gus Villa Jewelry. Let's be honest here, guys. Jewelers in Miami are super shady sometimes. I've even been ripped off once or twice by one of these self-proclaimed alchemists that ended up being these weirdos who sell you a bunch of stuff that make your neck and your fingers turn black. Let me tell you, after I met my boy, Gus Villa, he elevated my bling game. The Gus Villa team, these guys are more than just jewelers. These guys are magicians, turning metal and stone into your next head turner. Trust me, these pieces shine so much you can see them from outer space. Head over to GusVillaJewelry.com, and because you're a Monty, that's right, part of the Montana Method crew, you can use the promo code Montana to snatch 5% off your order. You don't just get hooked up with some shine, you get to have some dough in your pocket. Double whammy. So guys, what are you waiting for? Elevate your jewelry game. Show the world what you got. You got some style, you got some bling, you're all blinged up. Come on back after you do that. We've got more Montana Method Madness waiting for you. Now back to the podcast. Yeah, on the men's side, it's a different argument. What I tell men is I'm pretty black and white when I hear certain women say things, but I'm even more black and white when certain men say certain things. So I'll give you the example. No, bro, all these chicks care about is money. And I'm like, bro, go make some money. You're a broke ass fucking loser. Like,
that's why you care that's what they care about.
Yeah, like if you made a living, you wouldn't mind paying for dinner and buying her flowers and paying for her car because you make a decent living. But because you're broke, it's like you get triggered. Bro, go work on your finances, build a career, and then when you have a purpose and you have a certain type of lifestyle that you can provide to her is when you should be dating. I'm ruthless with men. If you're broke, you shouldn't be like dating. You shouldn't. You shouldn't be like trying to wine and dine all these women if you're broke is what I'm saying. Like, play the game at your level. You know, you get what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah.
There's in baseball, there's single A, double A, triple A in the major leagues. You just need to be like, all right, I'm not in the major leagues yet, bro. So let me take a few at bats at single A, and then, okay, some base hits. All right, you know what I mean? Like, work the game where you're at and work your way up.
It also depends on like the caliber of women that
you're going after, of course.
Exactly. Like,
of course.
So
another thing I tell men. It's like, bro, if you want a really attractive, physically appealing woman, you have to be physically appealing. Yeah. You can't be overweight, a sloppy, and look a certain way, and then want a woman to look a certain way. It's not gonna happen, bro. Like, take it from a guy who used to weigh 300 pounds. Like, the second I started working out and working on, bro, the women that were attracted to me changed immediately.
And your confidence level changes. 100%. So the women that you approach also,
100%.
you know, go up to that bar to meet you there.
And you'd be surprised. It's not even so much about, because I'm still probably a good 35 pounds from where I want to be, but it's not even so much about looking ripped and shit. It's the fact that you're consistent and you have good habits, and you go, and she sees that you go to the gym, and she sees that you care about your health, and you sees that you're working on a career. It's more about building the person, like building the habits of the person that you want to be, than being there already.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's
I
like
would think-
aligning yourself with where you want to be
I remember
in the present.
I think I was watching one of your episodes that you were talking, that you were like, it's not so much like he could have a dad bod or whatever, but it was more that like his health has to be a priority.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, I mean, not everyone, you know, can lose weight and get abs and whatever. Like maybe they're on that journey, but it might take a few years
Right.
or whatever. So it's not a physical thing. It's more like, do you actually give a fuck? If it's about longevity for me, like, do you care about living a long life? I don't want to be with someone who literally doesn't give a fuck about their health and next week can be in the hospital because their fucking arteries are clogged.
100%.
Like, I don't want to deal with that. I've already dealt with that shit on my own, like, you know, with my own health stuff. So yeah, it's just that. It's just caring about your health. Aside from that, how you take care of your body is also has to do with your mind, with your mental health. You know, people that are healthy as fuck on the inside usually don't have anxiety, usually aren't raging, angry fucking people, you know? So it's just all, your gut and your brain is very connected. So you have to be a healthy person. Like, I mean, at least to be around me, fuck it. I'm not going to deal with people who are like doing drugs or drinking all the fucking time. I understand having a drink, whatever. But if you're drinking every day, I'm not going to be around you. I don't want that shit around me. I'm not drinking every day. Like, we're going to go to a bar and I'm going to have coffee while you pound beers. Like, I'm good.
Does alcohol mess with the autoimmune stuff too?
Yeah.
Bro, that's another one. I'm blessed because I don't have an appetite for alcohol or drugs or any of that shit.
I enjoy having a drink here and there, but now it's like not worth it.
I just don't even, you know what it was? I did it for a while as a teenager, and I kind of just lost. Like, I got disgusted by it.
That's Miami.
True.
Think about back in the day, like the clubs that they would let underage
Fucking
girls.
Boulevard and shit.
I was in clubs at like 16 drinking.
Wild.
Like 17,
Wow.
18. Like by the time I turned 21, I was like, I don't want to be in a club.
I don't want to do this anymore. Yeah.
And now I'll have a drink and I'll enjoy it. At the time, I drink like twice a year, but I'll enjoy it. And then 2 days later, I have hives all over my fucking arms and shit. So I'm just like, where's the Allegra? Here we go. Fuck.
Where's the Allegra?
And it's never happened before. Like I've, you know, throughout my 20s, early 30s, I drank.
That's wild.
But now I can't.
As someone that has an autoimmune disorder, I think I told you about Michaela Peterson, right? And how her story's amazing. It's really because she
figured it out.
She had a TED Talk.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy, and she did it with her and her dad and her mom. It's pretty wild. She has like a hip replacement, ankle.
Yeah.
She got, her body was destroyed.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy how far like an autoimmune disorder can destroy your body if you don't. And she was on all kinds of like antidepressants and shit, and it's wild. Going back to the Western medicine thing, they really like, I don't know, bro.
It just makes it worse and worse. Like if anyone is dealing with any sort of symptom that your doctor doesn't know where it's coming from or whatever, it's just weird. Go to a functional doctor. Go to a functional nutritionist. Have them look at your labs and see, you know, because it could be like the dumbest thing.
It could be something very small.
Yeah. It could be that you're eating carbs.
Something as simple as that.
Like, yeah, as simple as just like don't eat rice and bread for a while. Reset your gut, see how it goes.
I have an interesting question that just came to mind. What was your, when you were going through this and you were like feeling like you were gonna die, what was your like spiritually, how were you, like where were you at?
It's funny because the relationship that caused me to get this, the guy was spiritual. He actually worked helping people in a spiritual manner. And he was actually a psychopath, but
Usually the females that are into like the new age stuff with the crystals and burning sage and
yeah,
shit,
it was
they're
it was
fucking
like,
insane.
yeah, he was kind of like that in a male form, yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, I got tricked, and then eventually it was like a cult. Like I felt like I was trapped in a cult. It was really weird.
Yeah.
And then, I. Yeah, it's weird. That this new spirituality is just fucking weird. But at the time when I was going through all that shit, I was like, "Esto es brujería." Like, olvídate. I'm like, somebody.
It kind of is though.
I'm like, this is somebody's doing this to me. Like, somebody has a little doll of me. They're poking fucking needles in my chest and shit. You know. So I went the spiritual route first, and like calling all the babalaos and shit. Like, help me! I don't know what's going on.
You got lucky that you have Cuban.
Yeah.
You know, we got the plug. They're straight to the big guy.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
So I did, you know, I went that route and had my apartment cleansed and all
shit.
this, all the, you know, chickens and everything.
Maybe it worked.
And then, yeah, because I did meet the functional doctor like a week after that. So because at that point I was like, I'm gonna fucking die. Like I was convulsing like daily. My mom was like, I don't even know what the fuck to do with you. So I did think it was spiritual, but it could have been because of that fucking guy. Who knows? Who knows what he had attached to him? I don't know.
That's a whole nother, man. Don't even get me started. Like the spiritual repercussions from having sex with a person you're not supposed to have sex with.
1,000%.
The
1,000%.
the cost, like the energies. This is what I need men and women to understand. When you have sex with somebody, it's not just a physical thing. It's an energy thing. You're messing energies on a molecular level, like the
sexual energy exchange,
bro. And like now that person's energy is attached to you,
or spiritual energy exchange.
and to cut those ties, it's not all that easy. So this is for men and women because I used to be the guy partying my ass off and having all kinds of sexual
People
partners.
don't understand that you're literally exchanging DNA with people
100%.
when you have sex with them.
You're giving them a part of you.
Yeah,
In women's case, you're letting someone inside you.
literally.
And in men's case, you're giving someone a part of you. Like, so think about that for a second. If you're the guy who's still like, oh yeah, YOLO, you know, all these hoes. If you're the chick who's like, yeah, I want to get bodied. Listen, bro. There's some serious spiritual repercussions that you're not thinking about, nor do you understand. But on those days where you feel like shit, or you don't know what the fuck, and then like you have no energy, but you feel that, some of that stuff, those energies you're tied to, that you don't even know you're tied to, that's the cause of it. And that's a whole nother podcast within itself, man.
Yeah.
It really is. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, people don't really see that as a thing, which is crazy.
We're
to
just
me.
such a short-sighted society. Like we only live in the short term. We only see what's right in front of us. What's 5 minutes from now? What are we looking at on Instagram?
It's the same with the diet. Like people don't think about longevity or like the future. They're just like, I just want to have fun right now. I just want to eat this right now.
Yep.
I'm just gonna do this right now. Like, okay, cool. And then later on, think about how that's gonna fuck you in the butt.
There's a good reference, I guess. There's these two philosophies that I learned about a while back that this really changed my life, and it made me understand how old our way of being as humans are. Like we've been the same for thousands of years. So in ancient Greece, there was these two philosophies. There was Epicureanism and Stoicism. Epicureans believed that you could die tomorrow, so you should live today. Like fulfill your every desire, enjoy life, YOLO, like have fun, because life could be over at any minute, which is a valid philosophy. But those were more like the Athenians, and that led to debauchery and all kinds of stuff, right? Because they're just all about partying and having fun,
Doing whatever.
And they don't. You need the counter to that, which is what? Stoicism. Stoicism believed that you should sacrifice today for something greater tomorrow, no matter what. Have discipline, stay consistent, do the hard thing now. Do it right now, right? You can't control other people, but you can control yourself. And if ultimately you control yourself, you'll live a life of greatness. That's what Stoicism is. But Stoics were on the other extreme. They never enjoyed anything, right? They were always all about, like training and getting strong and fighting and going to war and all this shit. So it's like you have to find a balance, but I think we're so far onto one side that we're not worried about this side at all. So I try to live my life like 70-30 in favor of like a stoic view of things. And that other 30 to 25% of the time is when I'm like, all right, stop for a second, smell the flowers, look at the sun. You're alive. Like, breathe in this fresh air. Someone died right now, like right this second on the other side of the planet, someone died. And you're breathing in air that they'll never be able to breathe in ever again. You know, and I try to, like this moment with you, like my podcast, I try to really soak in the moment and be present, because that's the only way you're living life. If you're stuck in the past or you're like living in the future, that's not really living life, you know?
Yeah. I think it's somewhere like finding a balance in having gratitude for the moment that you're in right now, because, you know, sometimes if we forget to be grateful about things is when we become, I guess, a little bit too stoic and we're just focused, you know, on other things in the future or whatever. Also, it's a bit of anxiety too, being worried about the future so much. So I think it's a, you know, I try to live in a balance between being grateful for where I am right now in the present moment, but also having integrity. And, you know, when I'm making decisions, I feel like a lot of people lack that now. They don't, you know, integrity for me has to do with like your morals, your standards, how you live your life, how you carry yourself and present yourself. So I think there's a balance for me in trying to, you know, we all fall off. We all get anxiety and depressed sometimes or whatever. But, you know, having that balance between being super grateful for where I am, but also living a life, you know, with integrity to where I'm not purposely doing things that I know are going to harm me in the future.
Right.
So kind of try to stay somewhere in between that.
It's important.
And then doing OnlyFans. So subscribe.
Not only is she very smart and attractive, she's fucking funny as fuck.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
V, thanks for coming on the show.
Anytime.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So, a couple things before I let you go. I ask 3 questions at the end of all my podcasts. So, First question. What inspires you?
Life. Being alive. Like, you know, 3 years ago, I thought I was going to fucking die. And I was like, I have too much to do. And since then, I've been hyper focused on happiness, number one, ridding myself of any type of toxic people or habits, doing what I want to do, going after the things I want to achieve, you know, putting fear aside. I lived in fear for a really long time for my health, you know what I'm saying? And now I really try to just do what makes me happy. So, yeah, like life inspires me. Like, no, not a person, not anything else. Fuck it. I almost died, so fuck you. I'm living this life.
Yeah, sometimes I say I died a long time ago. This is just extra, you know? So, yeah.
Well, who knows how many lives we've fucking lived at this point.
That's true. That's true. Some people die, you know, very early in life. They just choose to dig the grave 70 years later. So I always try to remember that. Like, somebody already made the decision to quit on their life.
Yeah.
So don't be that person, you know?
Yep.
So it brings a rich life at the end, you know, when you're sitting in the rocking chair at 80 years old, you know, those I want those to be memories, not regrets.
Yeah.
You know? So
100%.
Second question, what's next for you?
Well, I recently started my podcast, so that's kind of what I've been focused on. I think I started it like a month or 2 ago, something like that.
It's very you, bro. You'll see. You'll develop more into like this, and you'll change things. I've experimented so much with this now that it's become like its own. It's taken on its own life.
Yeah.
You'll see. It's
I'm really enjoying it though. I think it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, but yeah, Voice of Vicious is kind of like what I'm focused on. Right now, because my health is back in order, I just want to, you know, create content, record episodes for the podcast, shoot some
It's a lot of work. It'll keep you busy.
Yeah, no, I know. It's it's way more than I expected.
It's a lot of fun though.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
super fun.
But I'm adjusting and I'm learning like pretty quickly. I feel like, you know, doing it decently.
Yeah. If you ever need anything, give me a call.
Thanks.
You're episode 99. This is episode 99 of my podcast.
Is it?
Yep.
Sweet. 99. You were 12.
12 on yours.
On mine. Yeah.
That's a good number.
Yeah.
All right.
But I'm just like focus on content and just being happy and living my life. And I don't know. There's not really a deep philosophical fucking answer for that.
No, but sounds like a plan. It's a better plan than most have.
Yeah.
Than most people have.
Yeah.
Last question. How do you want to be remembered when you're dead?
Oh man. Like a boss. Like I want people to be like, that bitch did a little bit of everything, and she was always laughing or fighting depending on what mood you caught her in, you know. I would, you know, hope that people remember me for who I am and not like what they just see on the internet, you know.
Important.
And I think that that's another reason I started the podcast too, because I've been modeling 19 years, and I'm like, never have
you don't look a day over like 24.
Thanks. I'll be 37 next month. But yeah. But it's the raw milk.
It's the raw milk and the fucking carnivore
I'm
diet,
telling
bro.
you, it's the meat and raw milk. But that's the reason I started the podcast, is because I spent so many years modeling, like just photos or videos of photo shoots. Like no one knows my personality or like the way that I think or whatever. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna like start running my mouth. Give me a microphone. Fuck it. So I hope people.
It's a very Leo thing. This is a very Leo thing.
100%. We just like to hear ourselves talk. But I hope people remember me for, you know, they're going to remember me for what I look like and whatever. But also I hope that they do for the things that I had to say or the things that I had to teach, or, you know, any sort of way I can inspire anybody to step out of their comfort zone, to not live in fear, and to be healthy.
I love that. You're welcome back anytime.
That's it.
I appreciate you coming by.
That's it.
You're so adorable. That's funny.
Thanks. More coffee now.
More coffee. Some raw milk. All right, guys. Appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate having my friend on. Vanny Vicious, as she is known. Appreciate you coming on. Oh, last thing. How can people follow you?
Official Vanny Vicious on Instagram and Twitch. Official Vanny V on Twitter. And then Voice of Vicious podcast everywhere else.
Perfect. Sounds good. Alrighty, guys. It's another episode of Montana Method Podcast. Your host, Nelson, signing out with my guest.
Bye.
As always, push it to the limit. The world is yours. And if you are not chasing a dream, life is meaningless, guys. Catch you on the next one. Say goodnight to the bad guy.
I've been out here hustling all my life. Every day we get into it. Really out here in these streets. That's day and night. Like there's nothing to it. When I was going through it, dog, I never got your call. I never asked for nothing, no. But now I want it all. I promise I'ma do it. Came from rags to riches.